Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And earlier this morning, I went to see Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. I'll be honest, I haven't seen all the Mission Impossible movies. I've seen parts of the first one, and I fell asleep through it. Although in my defense, if my memory is correct, it was a really long night, and I started watching it around 10:30ish. It was close to midnight. And then the only other movie that I've seen in the series has been Fallout, the one with Henry Cavill. And I really liked that one, so I decided, what the hell, I'll go see this new one. Oh, and I also haven't seen the original TV show. But then the other reason why I went to go and see this movie was because I went and saw Top Gun: Maverick last year. I think I saw that one at least twice. Once with family and once by myself and with someone else. I'm pretty sure I saw it at least twice in the theater. It was almost 3 times, but I kind of chickened out on that last one. But anyway, so I decided to see Dead Reckoning this morning. I saw it by myself. I honestly did not think that they'd have... I didn't think they'd have a screening like as early as when I went to go and see it. The screening I went to see it at was a little ways away from town, and it was at 9:45 a.m. I think that's the earliest I've ever seen a movie in the theater, which is fine because the movie was nearly 3 hours long. I was originally going to make a review like immediately after I saw it, but, well, I was really tired, and when I left the theater, I realized that, again, that was another time where I didn't completely know the way home, so I decided to make that the priority. But onto the movie itself. The movie's fantastic all around. You don't really need to see any of the previous films to really understand this one, except for maybe Fallout, because there's a character from Fallout who comes back in Dead Reckoning, but it only takes a few minutes to really catch up to speed on that one. Aside from that, it's fairly easy to figure out what's going on. Basically, Ethan Hunt and his team, they're racing against like every other nation on Earth to find this like big MacGuffin key that unlocks the source code of this AI. Like a really powerful AI can basically rewrite anything and everything that's digital, right? And essentially, the AI is basically the main villain in the movie, and at least from the movies in the series that I have seen, I think that's the first time where the AI isn't really human. Oh, I'm sorry, where the villain isn't really human, and that's where and I thought that was very cool, because at least from what I've seen. At least from the films that I've seen and the parts of other MI movies that I saw on YouTube, like all the other villains have been like humans, right? Like you got Henry Cavill as John Lard from Fallout. John Voight was the bad guy in the first movie, and then from what I've seen, like from other videos on YouTube, like Ethan Hunt has always had to fight like a human enemy, and even though he fights a human enemy who is also from his past in this film, like that guy who's played by, I don't know if I'm butchering his name, Esai Morales, he's not really the main bad guy. He's like the physical threat, but the main enemy is still that AI called the Entity. And I just thought that was really cool, especially because if you look at it one way, hypothetically, if Ethan Hunt fails, then you could see this movie as like a precursor to movies like Terminator. And the other part that makes this a little bit funny is that with AI being basically the main villain of this film, and also Dead Reckoning Part 2, it kind of goes hand in hand with what's going on right now, because currently the writers and actors strike is still going on in Hollywood right now. And at the very least, the actors strike is because studios are trying to snub actors and just use AI for their likeness. And like we've already seen them use AI for like small things, such as like the opening intro of Secret Invasion. Right, it was confirmed that the opening credits, the artwork for that was like completely AI. And I think that they're trying to use AI such as ChatGPT to make scripts. Or at least I think that's what I've heard. Don't quote me on that one. But I think studios are trying to get there that way, like they can cut corners and cut costs. And, well, because actors are feeling snubbed, well, they're now on strike. And I'm not sure if that's also part of the writer's strike. I know that the writer's strike is in part because studios don't want to pay them enough. I'm not gonna get into that because I feel like my opinions on that are just gonna start a fight. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think that's part of the reason why the writers are on strike, because studios want to use AI more. Which, for that part specifically, like I agree, that's unfair. But anyway, I just find it a little bit ironic that that while the writers and actors strikes are going on, like we have a movie where AI is the villain. And the funniest part is that I recently saw a post on Facebook about how apparently James Cameron came out and said that he warned everyone about the dangers of AI way back in 1984, and nobody listened. Which is pretty funny because I remember saying something similar, that eventually, what I said was a little bit exaggerated, that the robots are going to take over, which is exactly what's happening. Like, people are starting to use robots and AI for general jobs now. Like, they're starting to have robots be like servers. Starting to have robots be servers, and they're starting to have them be like kiosks and like self-checkouts, which to be fair, they haven't technically taken away jobs yet, but they will eventually. And that's the point I've been trying to make. Like AI is not gonna take over overnight. Like that takes time. And like even in the movie, the AI still doesn't have like 100% complete control, but it's slowly working its way up. Like later on in the film, like it's kind of shown just how dangerous the AI is. Like, there's a reason why I said that the AI is basically the main villain of the film. Like, instead of any of the human antagonists, because the AI leads Ethan and his team on like a wild goose chase that, without spoiling anything, makes the mission go sideways really quick. But I don't know, that's what I've been saying for a while, that like eventually robots are going to take over, AI is going to take over. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take a really, really long time, because like, I mean, imagine if imagine if now we have like a smart defense system or AI that's in charge of that's in charge of like our nation's defense systems, right? I mean, that's easily going to lead to like a Terminator Judgment Day scenario. Anyway, my little rant is over. Going back to the actual movie itself, Tom Cruise and the entire cast does fantastic in this, like usual. Tom Cruise is great. It's awesome that that he's always doing these death-defying stunts. Especially the one that was in the trailer where he literally drives a motorcycle off the edge of a cliff. That one was awesome to see, especially like seeing the end of that one, and like how the stunt was pulled off was awesome. The other returning cast mates like Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Rebecca Ferguson. They're great in their roles. Vanessa Kirby returns from Fallout as the White Widow broker. She's great with the small amount of time she has. And you got a new addition of Haley Atwell as basically playing like a thief character who I think I'd describe her as being similar to like Black Cat or Catwoman from like Marvel and DC Comics, and she plays off of Tom Cruise really well in this film. The human villain, again played by Sam Morales. Honestly, I like this guy better than Henry Cavill as John Lark, where, as I recall, Henry Cavill's character, like, yeah, he threatened Ethan and his loved ones if he didn't stay out of his way. But this guy, he actually like followed through with his threats, and like he actually got under Ethan's skin a few times in this film. And that, to me, that made him a great villain. The music is always great. Like I cannot get the Mission Impossible theme out of my head right now. The visuals are great. Again, stunts were just amazing. There were a few times throughout the film where I was actually wondering, like, oh shit, how is Ethan going to get out of this one? I mean, like, obviously, you know that Ethan's gonna be okay. Like, he's gonna survive because like this movie is called Part 1. There's gonna be a Part 2 sometime next year. Maybe, I don't know if the strike has pushed that back. But the point is, like, they were able to add so much suspense in this film where you wonder how he's going to get out of the situations that he finds himself in. And that's what made this movie great. And I know I didn't talk about the movie itself much, but the film really is great, and I'm excited to see Part 2 whenever it comes out. And that's really all my thoughts on this film. This review will self-destruct in 5, 4,